What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today, it is hot. It is 95 degrees in my shop. It's 100 outside. It's about 105 heat index, and you can see I've been out here for about 15 minutes, put some new blades on my mower. Maybe I should show you guys some mower content, and I am soaked in sweat. Just soaked in sweat. It is absolutely insane, but we are going to press on, and we are going to put some speakers in the daily driver. Now, you guys saw this in the last video on it when I first showed it to you. We did a lot of stuff. So not only did I show it to you, but we got some wheels, we dropped the back, put some new lights in the back, tail lights, new bulbs, which we're gonna have to address something in the future on that. We'll talk about that down the road. But short antenna, pulled all the trim off the side. Now, while I talked about some of the things, some of the issues with this truck. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I told you that, first of all, the radio is hooked up all the time because they just cut the harness off. Not really sure why they did that. We're going to fix that in another video because I think I don't love that radio. The touchscreen's kind of wonky. But aside from that, the only speaker that this thing has is one speaker in the back passenger side door. Now, I can move it around, and I noticed that the tweeters make noise. So like the tweeters in the two front doors, they're there. But I don't know why they would rob all the speakers out unless they were, I have no idea, and leave one. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But either way, we got some replacement speakers here. I decided to go with some Infinities because they seem to work really well. They're kind of an upgrade from the factory speaker. Now, in my last truck like this, I used some Memphis, and while they were okay, I think these will probably do a little bit better. They just have a little better rating on Amazon. So I decided to pick a set of these up. There's actually two sets here, some for the front, some for the back. And then this is kind of controversial. I don't know whether this will work or not. Some people complain about it. Some say it works, some say it doesn't. These are to hold the speakers in the front door. Now, they only make them for the front door for some reason. I've yet to find any for the back, so we'll just have to see when we get there what we're gonna have to do to mount them. And maybe these don't work. I don't really know. And I don't know that there isn't a bunch of stuff chopped out of this, just based off of what I've seen so far. Now, look, this truck is not a complete turd other than it's just really dirty. But there's just some things that I want to fix. Like I told you too, he or she, I don't know who it was, but they broke this. I'm assuming they didn't know that you had to take this off from behind. You can't just pull it out. So it is broken. So we don't have to be quite as careful. And then as far as the carpet goes, guys, eventually I was wanting to clean it, but there's a huge spot, and I didn't show you guys this in the last video. I guess I should have. But I covered it up with a mat. Somebody has spilled something in there and it just destroyed the carpet. So instead of like scrubbing around on spots, I think probably what we'll do is eventually replace it. But of course, I'll show you guys that in a video if I do that. I'm pretty sure I will because just those stains make me nutty driving around. It needs vacuum right now anyway. But let's get you guys set up on a tripod. Let's see if we can get this door panel off and kind of see what we're dealing with. Like I said, I have no idea what's behind it, but I'm gonna go get some pry tools and probably a 7, a 10, and I think this is I don't remember what this one is. I want to say it's like a T15 or something, but we'll get that all off. Let's go get some stuff and get this going. So we're gonna start up top here with this little triangle piece, and I'm not gonna be real surprised, guys, if we've got a bunch of broken tabs, just based off of what we've seen. There's only 2 there and they're not broken. That's good. So now that we got that out of the way, I don't know if I'm gonna use this. It's not my favorite method, but let's see if I can. These generally just pull out. And the door panel's broken, so it's not like, you know, I'm not going to try to break it anymore, but I'm also not going to be maybe as careful as I would be with a stock door panel, or like a nice door panel. This should just pull out. And then once we have that out, there's a 7 behind it. We need to go ahead and take this guy loose. Same situation here. Should be a clip. There we go. Get it off there. And then I think there's a 10 behind that. And then generally, this guy right here is sometimes a fit. Yeah, I think that's like a T15, but I'll tell you guys here in a minute. And then there used to be, yeah, there's a 7 on the bottom of the door we'll grab too. So I'm gonna go grab 7, 10, and like a T15, I believe. So this is a T20. And it shouldn't be really tight. You can see I'm just using an extension. Get that out of the way. Now let's go to our 10 millimeter down here. Actually, we don't even need to take that handle off. I take that back. So we have a 7 that sneaks in. That's just if you need to take the handle off, and we don't need to do that. So there's a 7 back here. The fact that there's still screws in here is good. You may also need a magnet, and take note of the difference here. See how the shorter one goes up top? Now there's one in the very bottom of the door down here, right in the middle. And I don't think it's not hooked to anything, unfortunately. It actually came right out. All right, lay those aside. Now we should be able to just lift up on the door panel, kind of pull it out away, and then we're gonna have to reach back in here and unplug this. Now, this is where I think they screwed up before. They just probably didn't know. And when I get it off here, guys, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And there actually is a speaker in here. That's interesting. Huh. Wonder why it doesn't work. Well, this one's giving me fits. So now we've got that unhooked. So I wanted to show you guys what I'm talking about here. So I'm just pushing these, right, to unplug. This one right here, though, swings. See that? So in order to get it in there, you have to swing it out of the way. It's got this little tab on it like that, so it kind of pulls out a different way. Other than that, tweeter, window motor, I think mirrors, or maybe this one's mirrors, and power locks. And then we had another one back here for the light that normally would be there, but so I don't think the light's working. So, not really sure why our speaker is not working. Should just be able to push that. Could have something to do with the radio, the way the radio is hooked up. Or maybe it's just, okay, this speaker is toast, guys. Hold on, I'll show it to you. Look, there's no surrounds. Look at that. All the surrounds are completely gone. Matter of fact, let's poke a hole in it and look at it. Look at that. Just these junky paper cones. They're such garbage. Anyway, all right, so that's probably why it doesn't work, because, well, it's broke. So let's take out the speakers and see what we've got here. Got instructions. We got speakers. Mounting screws, it's good. I'm hoping we have some leads of some sort. And this is some foam. I don't see any leads. That sucks. I tell you what is cool though. I'll make sure there's no leads in the box. Generally speakers come with leads. But what's cool is check this mounting bracket out. Look at that. I don't know if that help us or not. We'll see in the back if these other deals don't work, but kind of interesting. And these don't, oh, I guess they do. They do come with speaker grills. I was going to say, I don't know if they come with speaker grills, and they do. We're not going to be using those, obviously. So let's do this. Let's see if this guy, if it fits in here. Because like I said, that's a big complaint. And it doesn't, guys, I don't know that it necessarily matters which direction you go, but I mean, it seems to be like, it seems to me like it fits, it would fit fine. I mean, we're gonna have to, it comes with like these holes, you see these right here, that's, you know, meant to hold your speaker, and those don't really line up, but I don't know, guys, I don't really think it's that bad. I mean, the other option is you can drill the truck. I guess you could set this in here. Okay, you could set that in there and then drill, you know, further out. I wonder if they fit. That fits in that. Could do that too. Just a lot of screws. All right, we'll have to study this for a second because I really think this piece I bought. Now look, there's some complaints on certain speakers not fitting in here, like they hit the ring because the basket's too big. But I didn't buy a monster speaker. I just bought a, you know, a better than factory replacement. So what I think I'll do is I'll try to center this the best I can. Let's do this. Let's set it. Let's see if it fits in here. The fact that it doesn't have leads kind of sucks because that means I've got to cut and solder. Just put that in there. Oh, that fits perfect. You might want to trim this off. In fact, I'm just going to break it off. We don't need that piece. I'm committed now, guys. We're using these. And I feel like this is the same thing here. Like we can probably chop. This is coming off for sure. We're not using that. And this one here. And now it fits just like it's supposed to. I like that. All right, so now we just need to figure out how to mount our speaker in there. That shouldn't be that big a deal. I think people complain because, no, look, these holes do not line up like, you know, they said they're supposed to. But it's also not that bad. It looks to me like it's more meant for a 5 1/4, and this is a 6 1/2. I don't know what I just took out. It might be a 5 1/4. All right, so I'm gonna go get my drill and I'm gonna drill holes to mount this guy. That's what I'm gonna do. So you can see what I've done here. I drilled a couple holes to hold 2 of them. Now this other one's gonna be a little more offset and this one's off to the side. That's not a big deal though, it fits. And to me, 3 is better than, I mean 2 would probably hold it. It's pretty snug. I might try to run one in here, but I don't think it's really necessary. I don't think you're gonna gain much, but we're gonna have 3. It isn't the best fitting thing, but guys, for what you have to do, because this is all bent, in my opinion, this seems to work really well. Although this guy, if I wanted to just drill holes in the truck, it would work pretty good as well. I just test fit it, and check it out. Fits perfect. No rattling, no issues. But now, since it didn't come with leads, generally speakers come with leads, I've got some connectors here that will fit. But in order to make that happen, we're gonna have to, and they're pretty snug, we're gonna have to cut the factory harness, which, look, the factory harness is cut already in the dash. So I'm gonna go grab some cutters and we're gonna cut that off, and then we're going to crimp these on, and then we'll wrap them real nice in tape, make sure there's no issues, and then we'll put it in, plug it in, and see if it even works. So I was hoping to move you guys a little closer so you could see what's going on here. So I'm just cutting this off, and I'm cutting it short because, look, we're not gonna put a factory speaker back in this ever, like ever. I don't know one vehicle, even when I've sold them, where I've went back and taken out the factory speakers, or put the factory speakers back in, I mean. So we're gonna strip this down, and it doesn't really matter which one's which as far as negative or positive. It'll work either way. We're going to put, let's see here. In fact, it's not even marked on the speaker what's what. So I don't really think, we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna put this on here. We're gonna have to double this one over. Put it in here and then crimp it down. Nice and snug there. I'm gonna wrap those in tape, guys. I say I'm gonna wrap them in tape. I'm gonna attempt to wrap them in tape with the gloves on. That, I don't think that's gonna work, but we're gonna try. Okay, maybe not. There we go. Oh. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it as tight as I want to get it. Maybe I can. Just seems like with gloves on, just don't have as much feeling. You got that one? Do this one also. And then I'm going to wrap them. I said I was going to wrap them all the way up, but I don't think I am because of the way they poke in there. So let's plug these guys in here. We're going to turn the radio on, which we can do without the car on. It's not quite as snug as I want it to be, either one of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to smash them down just a little bit, just so we get a nice snug fit. I don't want to be driving down the road and my speakers quit. That's why I like the ones that come with leads, because they, you know, the factory makes them so they fit really nice. This one is going to be really snug. All right, now let's put this here. Let's test it. So I don't know if you guys can hear this, but it is working. Just playing some non-copyrighted music. This is awesome. So it definitely was the speaker. Let me turn it off now. It definitely was the speaker, and which, look guys, I pulled it back out, I threw it away, but then, I mean, look at the difference between the two. I mean, this should be a huge difference. And even though these aren't expensive speakers, these are like, I want to say they're like 60 bucks for the pair. So I think they'll do the trick. And, you know, while these aren't the greatest fitting things, I think it's okay. So let's put this thing back together. Gonna feel for that. I was feeling for that hole down there at the bottom. Let's go ahead and put this thing back together. A couple things before we go back together that you want to make note of are, you want to make sure that none of these guys where your screws go fell out. Sometimes back in the day, the newer ones aren't as bad, but like the older ones, those things would fall out. You get the door panel on and the screw wouldn't go in, which really sucks. But we've got several things to plug back in here. We'll get that plugged in, and along with our light down here that doesn't work, we'll address that. We got a bunch of stuff that we're gonna just nickel and dime as we go, but let's get the door panel back on. We're gonna put that one in that's the hardest first, one that swings. I said we were. Sometimes it's easier to do it this way. So they only plug in a certain way. We need to also make sure we get our little pigtail out for the light here. And then you just lift it up and set it on. And then we can grab our screws and put those back in. So remember, your small 7 goes here. And your bigger 7 goes in this guy here. And then that one we really didn't even need to take out down here in the bottom. That's to hold this pocket in. Sometimes there's one toenailed in the very bottom that actually does go in the door, like on my green truck in there. And a lot of times people break them. It's tough to find a door panel that's not broken because of that. You don't want to get really tight. This goes in front first, and then the back snaps in. And then this guy, make sure that it's set to unlock if you're... That's backwards. Because that's locked, that's unlocked. And it can go in 2 different ways. So unlock is there. Let's get this guy in. Our little plastic tab. And then last but not least, we'll get this guy in place. And then we'll put our light in. Last 2 things are this little push on tab, which falls off a lot. Make sure you get it on there good. And then my light fell out, which it doesn't work anyway. Put it back in. To me, it's easier than trying to plug that light in. You got enough going on with the window switches. All right, guys. So I need to do the same thing on the other front, so I won't show you guys that, but let's go to the back and see what's involved in the back. Well, the back should be pretty similar to the front. That was actually loose. Pull this guy out. Woo! That one was in there. All right, we got a 7 here. Feeling around, making sure. Only 7, I feel. The only one I feel, guys, is right here in the corner, just like we had in the front. So we'll see. May need a magnet to get that out. Or a pry bar. Now this still feels like we're hooked somewhere. Let's make sure we don't have any other screws. Oh, we do. We have another 7 down here in this corner. This corner right here, there's just another 7. This is why you don't just yank as hard as you can. The good news is we only have one switch to unplug here. Just push it in. All right. Let's see what we've got here. I'm gonna move you guys over where you're facing like we did up front. So now we to the back one here. Looks like we're gonna have to take some 10mm out to get it out of the way. We got one up top here. Oh man, these things are so nasty. It's like tar. Let's just get it out of the way so you guys can see it. I don't want that in there. All right, so 10mm. Let's get those out of there. I don't know where my 10 went. Oh, it's behind the camera here. My camera, guys, it's so hot that my GoPro shut off. I've never had that. Well, I take that back. It happened to me a couple nights ago when I was filming on the red truck. But how crazy is that? That's how hot it is. Now this one, I don't know about this one either. I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's grab those, you know those plates that it came with? Those may be perfect for here. I don't know. This one's gotta be pretty shallow. The cool thing is though, we can also, actually guys, I'll tell you what we can do. We're just gonna take this out of here. It looks like a, I don't know what that, it almost looks like the same T fitting that we took the front apart with. It looks like a T, maybe a T20. Let's just take this speaker out and see if the new speaker fits in this. That would be the best solution. So it's not the same. It's a T15 actually. Oh, it's sad. Let's just take it out and see what we've got. How lucky would we be if that fit? I don't think it's going to, but we'll sure try. Same situation here in the back. No leads, so we'll have to... Holy cow, that thing's in there. Been there for 15 years. I don't know, guys. Let's go grab a speaker and see if this works. takes me back to my like high school years, putting stereo in a driveway. Thought when I grew up I'd have a garage. Oh well, that's how it goes. What's the likelihood of those holes lining up? Look at that. They line up. This is awesome. So I'm gonna orient it. I might even use the factory screws. I'm gonna orient it where you can make sure you get to your leads. But this is gonna work perfect. This is awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna put these back in. I'm gonna use the factory screws as long as they don't impede with anything. I'm gonna use them. I think we can make them work. Just be careful putting them back in that you don't smash the surround. But I'm gonna get these on here and then we're gonna cut that lead off. Yeah, that'll fit. That's gonna work. Yep. All right, I'm gonna get these in here and then we'll cut this lead off and do the same thing that we did in the front. So let's cut this plug off. I'm just gonna stick it back in the speaker. Like I said, this is the same way, guys. The surround is completely disconnected. I don't know how the one on that other side has worked for so long, but here I thought that somebody took all the speakers out and it's just crappy old speakers. These are not my favorite connections. When I said the ones, you know, most of them come with speaker leads, generally they have a really nice weather pack that slides up. And look, I mean, I don't think it's gonna make a difference. I've never had one screw up, but I don't know, these just look tacky to me. The ones that come, you know, from Infinity, or I guess this just didn't come with them. You know, the kickers I bought in the past came with a wiring lead, but it just seems like they're really nicely made when they come from a place like that. But hey, look, these are $50 or $60 a set. So, and these are shallow mount. Like I said, I don't know if I said that or not, but you're gonna want a shallow mount for the back, because the window regulator is right here, which, remember, I don't know if I said it, I'm pretty sure I did, but the back window on where the speaker works on that side, it needs a window regulator. So you guys are gonna be seeing a video on it at some point. Not a regulator, it needs a motor, but I'm gonna order the motor regulator all as one unit. And this tape looks really ratty here, so we're gonna redo it. Notice I took my gloves off for this. I need my fingertips for feel. I really do. My wife has got me many sets of mechanics gloves over the years, and I work on those black gloves, which I can unscrew something, but like those mechanics gloves, I can't feel anything. Let me know if you guys are the same way. But The other thing, guys, I'm crimping these down a little bit so they, you know, they're pretty snug on the terminal. You may have to push a little harder than you would normally, but keep you from having to take this apart and do it again. So now that we got this, let's see if we can get it back up in place here. It's so nice when you can use factory pieces. They just fit really, really well. And we'll turn the radio on, because if there's one thing I've learned, it's to always test it before you put everything back together. I don't know how many times in my life I've tested something after I put it back together. That was a terrible idea. Just about as terrible as me just doing that. Oh, yuck. I don't know what that stuff is, but it's nasty. It looks like the stuff they put on my road to make me nuts. All right. Let's go test it, or at least try it. Oh, baby. It's working. Okay guys, well let's get this door panel back on. I'm just gonna reverse the process. Maybe. Oh, the plug. I wish all the door panels were this easy. Just need to make sure that you get it in the channel on the bottom, all the way around. And there we are. We can go ahead, make sure this is unlocked, putting it in the right way. Uh-oh, it acts like it moved. No, it didn't. It's just gonna be a pain. That may explain why that one was so tough to get out. I need to clean this thing so bad, guys. So let's put our two back in here. I don't know what I'm doing. Using the 10 to put in the 7. And it put it most of the way in. Weird. Let's get our other one down here in the corner. we have left's the handle. Looks nice. Well, it doesn't look nice. It's functional. All right, guys, I won't show you the other side. I'm gonna whip those out real quick. Well, guys, we are finished up, and I feel bad now for blaming the prior owner for robbing the speakers out. I swear to you guys, you could look through these, you could kind of see the center of those speakers, and I couldn't see anything. And so I just assumed it looked like it was just a cutout. And so I assumed that they were gone, you know, like somebody had robbed them out. But actually, that is not what happened. And I think part of the reason I assume that is because both of these were broken, you know, thinking that somebody took it off in a hurry and maybe just, you know, didn't do it the correct way. But either way, we've got it working. All the speakers, let's see here. First of all, I want to show you this. Check this out. So the truck, actually, the key's in it, but let's take the key out. And so it turns on and off because it's full-time power. How cool is that? Boss. All right, let's play some copy-free music here. Let's see. So all of them are working. Music's terrible. But so's the interior of this truck. All right, let's just turn that off. That's terrible. All right, guys, so either way, not too bad of a project. And honestly, I could go either way. I actually think that those things that I use, those adapters in the front, really worked out well. And then, like I said, if you're gonna put a speaker in the back, you need to have a pretty shallow one if you're gonna go with a 6.5 like I did. And I recommend those ones that I use because they are pretty shallow. Now look, you're not going to get a ton of bass out of them, but I thought maybe down the road, here's my plan. I'm kind of hoping that if I do some stuff to this truck while I'm working on the red one in there, that maybe if I put some subs in, maybe lower it, tint the windows, I don't know, some stuff, maybe my son might want to take this on as his first truck. I think he's decided on something else, but either way, I guess in my mind, that's why I'm doing this stuff. I know you guys are probably wondering, like, why are you spending money here when you, well, look, I drive this every day. I listen to the radio a lot. I got about a 50-minute drive to work and home. So, you know, there's a lot of time that I spend in this where I listen to music. So I definitely wanted that fixed. I'm going to have to get the windows tinted at some point, but I was kind of waiting. Like I said, this power window motor is bad here. And so you guys are going to be seeing a video on it very soon. I probably should have waited and done it, the speaker at the same time. But either way, this is finished, guys. Hopefully you are enjoying it. I am completely soaked in sweat at this point. But if you guys are liking this, like always, please go down there and smash that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon while you're down there. That notifies you every single time we drop a new video. And stay tuned to see what we work on next.